Hellcat.
Now let's talk about Capcom for a brief moment. They made all the Mega Man games, they made the Street Fighter games, and what they also made is DuckTales. And these games all turned out good. But there's one game that people don't talk about much that was made by Capcom, and that's Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight. Yeah, usually people just trample this game into the dust and forget about it. The main reason why is because it's not a Street Fighter game, and it tricked a lot of kids back in the 90s. Because they would have played the arcade game, they loved it, and then they would see this game sitting on the store shelf and ask their parents for it. They would possibly get it, take it home and play it, and it would not be the same as the arcade game. And they would just get frustrated, turn the game off, and put in Mega Man or something. So yeah, that's probably the main reason why people don't like this game. However, in the story intro, it does mention the Street Fighter circuit, but that's the last thing related to Street Fighter in this game. All it is broken, awkward functioning controls that do not feel like Street Fighter. And the controls are so broken that guess what? I can't attack up or down while climbing on walls, and these enemies are coming from up and down on the screen, so I can't attack them. Damn. Now the goal of the game is to defeat the target in each designated area, collect their energy, and go into the interdimensional door, which appears randomly. Now along the way, you're going to want to collect these beam power-ups, because once you get enough, your beam upgrades in length. And it becomes very, very helpful in certain levels later on. Like this level, for instance. If I have enough power-ups, I'll just shoot straight up and kill the eyeball. But if I don't, it looks like this. Now, what does suck is whenever you get hit, you lose power-ups. Damn. Now, I don't think anybody will deny this is one of the hardest video games ever made. And it's all because the enemies come at you in such unpredictable angles. Like, look at this section. All these enemies are flying around, this worm is flying around, these freaking ring-looking things are flying around. I gotta master the controls! Pressing A makes you jump, pressing B makes you shoot. If you hold up and B, then you can do an upward shot. If you press down and B, then you do a diagonally up shot. You can do power shots by hitting A and then B, and if you hit A and then do the opposite direction you're facing on the D-pad, you can shoot downward, like that. And if you hold forward and hit the button, then you can do these weird power shots. It's very strange, and it does not work for the NES standards. It's too complicated. On top of all this, there are horizontally scrolling sections like this one. I just gotta get past all the shit, make it to the portal at the end. And in this section, it's a vertically scrolling section. I gotta kill the worms, collect their energy, and wait for the portal. Now it's all fine until you get to the final stage. It's the most unfair stage ever. What you have is a boss rush, 3 bosses, and then a final boss. You gotta do all these steps in order. You gotta find a strategy for each boss, defeat them without too much damage, and then locate 4 power-ups, farm health at the jellyfish section, and then 140 seconds is your limit. That is insane. Now, once you get to the final boss, then the first form is not that hard, and neither is the second. Just climb up on the wall and blast them away. And there's Street Fighter 2010. Well, that's Street Fighter 2010. And I do recommend that you give this game a try. If you see it at a store somewhere for a good price, or if you see it online, eBay, Amazon, wherever, then I do recommend you should try it. But do beware, this game is one of the hardest games I've ever played before, and one of the hardest games that I can beat. But it still is a fun and addicting game, so if you want to try it, I highly recommend that you do. Until next time, stay fully retro.